Eusexua. Alright, so boom. My name's Bohemian, and you are now watching what will be the first of many album reviews that I plan to do. And if you're asking yourself or wondering why I'm doing album reviews, it's because I myself am a musician, a trained musician at that, grew up as a music student, and even went to Berklee College of Music. Flex, flex. And I say all that to say I know music pretty well and I analyze it pretty deeply when I listen to it. And so I just wanted to take a chance to start sharing my opinions about music, especially about albums in particular, and use this as an opportunity to listen to artists that I otherwise might not have listened to or might not really be into their catalog as deeply. With that being said, our girly today, FKA Twigs, I technically am not a fan of her. But when I say I'm not a fan, I don't really mean it to say that I don't like her or I don't like her music, because I actually think she's really dope and I really think she's super creative. It's just I've never listened to any of her albums, and I could barely as of now, I can't even think of a song of hers that I could hum or something. So safe to say I'm not really a fan, but I want to use this opportunity to become one because, once again, I'm a really big fan of creativity and I think she's super creative. But before we get into it, I got some housekeeping that I'm gonna let you guys know. So when it comes to albums and how I evaluate them or how I think of what is good and what's not, I usually go by 3 criteria. The first criteria is, what is the sequencing of the album? AKA, what is the order of the songs? How does it flow from one song to the other? Does it have an overall story, overall vibe? And because all albums don't have to have a story or high concept, but there is a level of fluidity from the one song to the next that I particularly expect. And so that's the first criteria, or one of the 3. The second criteria is, how does this album reflect on the artist, their career, and their musical journey as a whole? I mean, is this album an intentional step to being more commercial? Is this album the artist's attempt at trying a different sound that they otherwise don't do? Is this artist really using this album as a way to hit in on all of the things that they are good at and that they usually do? Is this album fan service for their core fans who like only a certain aspect of them? The list goes on, but that's the second criteria. How does this album reflect on that artist? And then the third one is really the most simple, and that's, do I like the music? Do I like the songs? Are the songs bops or flops? What's it giving? So today's album is FKA Twigs, Eusexua. It just came out at the end of this month, January, and she has been promoting it, or at least it's been in anticipation for the past few months. And the album starts off with the title track, Eusexua. And the title track has the music video that was released about 4 months ago, to which, if you have not seen it, open another tab, take a chance, go watch it. It's really dope. It's hitting on what I talk about when I say FKA Twigs is super creative. But I will say, the beginning of it, it's if you are into FKA Twigs, or if you kind of know of FKA Twigs, it's kind of like you already know what type of land you're sitting in, because it's very different. But I really like the song. I like the vibe that it gives, and I super love the video. But let's get into it. Starting off very vibey. So this is the thing about FKA Twigs, her music is so theatrical. It's she creates worlds with her sound, which I, once again, respect highly on a creative level. But it does sometimes make her music not as listenable, specifically in the sense of, I am a commercial girly sometimes, and so I like hearing stuff that has a commercial feel, and she doesn't do that. We'll see what this album gives. But in this first song alone, she's already setting the palette to say like, come to my world. I respect it, I like it. And when it comes to an album, I prefer you actually set your world up. You don't have to hurry us into like a commercial jam. Also, I can't help but always think of her music as like Final Fantasy music, like the video game. Or just video game music in general. Shout out to her vocals though, she sounds great. What does eusexual even mean? What I'm not going to do though is, or at least what this album review won't really be much of, is me trying to like gather the lyrical content. When I first listen to an album, whatever lyrics stand out to me, they stand out. Outside of that, it's really just the sonic impression from first listen. So if you're looking for a lyrical girly who's about to break down what she's saying, that's not me. Now this is the part where it starts to pick up. The more I hear eusexual, the more I want to know, like, what does it mean? But that's a good thing, because it will make me want to look at the lyrics and see what she's saying and like learn the song a little bit better. Smart. Like eusexual. Y'all hear those chords? Yeah. Live. All right. So now we're on to song number 2, which is, let me look at what it is. Song number 2 is called Girls Feel Good. I like that moment. Oh, I thought she was gonna repeat it again. I still feel like we're traversing through the beginning of the world that she's creating, as far as like the sequencing and the sonics of the album. And I'm gonna say this also. FKA Twigs really did what Tinashe was starting, but never locked into because she went commercial. Hot take. All right. Girl Feels Good, track number 2. It's honestly kind of forgettable, not even gonna lie. It's a nice second song. So far, as far as sequencing goes, I'm cool with it, but it's not that memorable. Now we're on to track number 3. Now this one is another one that was released already as a single, and She's My Girl. I heard this in the gym one time, and I was just like, you know? Perfect Stranger, perfect track. You know, we love it. And this is like FKA Twigs in my mind at her best. And I say that because it hits on, she really does really well at hitting that nostalgic sound, that nostalgic dance sound that feels very non-American at that. And it's just like, you know it when you hear it. You know it when you hear it, and if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you don't, get into it. Another dope thing about this song is that the music video is T. Like, she just looks cunt. It's real simple. Yeah. I mean, FKA Twigs, she always shows up to work when it comes to putting together a visual. Like, you can just go to her YouTube, scroll down, and have a good time. If you need some inspiration, if you need some creative ideas, she's the girl to look to for visuals. Yeah, this is a bop, undeniable. All right, so child, I was very confused about this simply because, so the next track in the album listing on like Apple Music says Drums of Death, right? And I'm listening to this on YouTube, and when the YouTube playlist goes, Eusexua came back on. And so I'm like trying to be like, okay, wait, no, where's Drums of Death? I'm looking through her channel on YouTube like, where's that track? And so I just click play on Drums of Death on Apple Music on my laptop here. Come to find out, the Drums of Death is the song that's at the beginning of the Eusexual music video. Which I figured, I was like, this, what is this song? Since it's not Eusexual proper. So yeah, Drums of Death. I honestly, my brain feels fried when I listen to it, but there's a level of like, I enjoy it, if that makes sense. And I think in the sense of the flow of the track, the flow of the album, it works. It works. It still works for me. So if I'm being honest, this is the part of the song that actually rides. Because like, what's coming up, all of this, I imagine that like on a random Tuesday, I'm like, turn this off. Like, no shade.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it can be overstimulating. So right now we're at a place where taking it to my first step of sequencing, it is making sense, but there is an element of, for my personal taste, like, I feel like I'm overstimulated. But I will say it seems as though, and I can imagine this might be a thing for her albums, it's like she does set up the expectation of this is not Glorilla, this is not Beyonce, this is not a run-of-the-mill regular bitch making, not to say regular bitch music, but like she's not trying to make a song that feels like verse, chorus, bridge out. So you just gotta go with it. You gotta go with it, you gotta flow with it. And if you ain't, you probably ain't got no business being here. But Drums of Death can be overstimulating as f. All right, now we're into Room of Fools. This is after Drums of Death. Okay. I feel like if I was out, I'd be like getting my life. Like, oh my God. I'm also just thinking about like, what is the mental state I'm in that makes me come to this album? As I'm now like, I'm in track 5. There's only 11 songs on the album. Shout out to her, because I don't like long albums. So we're almost halfway through this hoe, and like it's like driving. It's, if anything, it would be a good late night listen. Not to go to sleep, but to like, not even necessarily to turn up, but just to kind of exist in the ethers of the night, if that makes sense. This song also has like some punk elements that I can respect. I don't know if it means I would want to listen to it again. All right, I'm clicking down. Okay. All right, this is now this. This is cute, but it feels like it's the end of the song, and yeah. What I really want to listen to the whole song just to get to the end. I hate having that. I hate that being the thing. All right, the next song is Sticky. No Tyler, the Creator. I like this playing. Okay, I'm feeling the song so far. It just depends on where it's gonna go. See, this is one of those moments where I really hope she just kind of lets the song be like more just normal. But it sounds like the song's either not gonna go anywhere, like as far as production is concerned, or it'll have this big build that'll personally disappoint me. We'll see. Now, this is not where I thought it was gonna go as far as a big build, but I'm not mad. Here's me. Anytime I can get a little twerk moment, I'm cool. It's my genuine shock and all. Well, that's one way to end a song, ain't it? God damn. It really surprised me. Now the question is that the end of the song, or is that just a part of what goes into the next one? We're gonna get into it. I feel like there's no right answer specifically, but that shocked the out of me. Sometimes I wanna turn the other way. This is Keep It, Hold It. Sometimes I feel so empty where I lay. At the best I live alone in disarray. I read a million people gotta feel this way. What have I gotta do? Just keep it walking, keep it walking, it close. What have I gotta say? Just keep it moving, keep it moving, hold it close. What have I gotta lose? Just keep it softly, keep it close. What have I gotta do? Just keep on walking, just keep it holding, just keep it. Things big of me, not gonna end the ring. Than I do. I often look at windows for escape to be safe. People gotta feel this way. I know that there's some high school choral group out there that's about to this song up. Like, I personally am not really getting anything from this, but I could just imagine like choral groups, small chamber choral groups. It reminds me of like when I was in high school, I was in a chamber chorus, my upperclassmen years. It'll eat like that up. Oh my gosh. And it'll probably be like really dope to hear them do it. But yeah, that song's kind of for me personally. Okay. Let's ramp it up. Let's ramp this shit up. Ramp it up. Ramp it up. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the point where I am sitting with the fact of, maybe there is a real reason why I have never listened to an FKA Twigs album. Because I am at that point where I'm fighting to make it through.
Bruh.
And so there's a thing about me with albums. One of the big sins, and this is like just a personal thing because I know it's around my personal taste, is that if I feel like skipping a song, we're clicking down. And I'm getting to that point with her and in this album. And I'll say specifically why is because yes, she's creating a world, and yes, it's about her sonics, and this is her style. But damn, this is just not a lot of the same, but the variety doesn't feel like a variety.
Can you come up with something else? Can you come up with something else?
It feels like just a big splash of overstimulation. And it ebbs and flows, it has its rise and falls, but they're so drastic and dramatic that it just, you feel like you're like this by the time you're halfway through the album. Like, girl, where's my Perfect Stranger again? Like, I need another one of them. Another little one of them. So clearly, I am a commercial girly. Not like through and through. Like, I definitely love all types of music. But there's a side of me that, like, my common denominator, my base level, does appreciate the fundamentals of making something that's commercially sound while being creative at the same time. And I think FKA Twigs sits on the spectrum of super creative, far away from commercial stuff. And where I'm at is more so like in the middle, safe to say. Like, I like to find people who can be in the middle or at least straddle between where things are. And if they're in their album, they can maybe straddle the spectrum where her album is sitting more so on the extreme creativity, on the extreme alternative. And that's not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing. This is more so come to my personal taste and for anyone else out there who has a similar sentiment. It's like, if you like a verse hook chorus type shit, FKA Twigs and this album, you might not make it through. You might get through, you might get past Perfect Stranger and be like, all right, I'm gonna start skipping. But we're gonna see. We're gonna try to keep this going. Okay, I'm done with this song. All right, so now we're on to Childlike Things, featuring none other than Northwest. Let's see what Northie gives. Is this North? It is. Come on, konnichiwa. She better be speaking another language. Okay, I'm here. But I will say, this is a example of, like, going back to what I was saying with sequencing, where it's like, I like this song, but I'm also at a point with the album where I low-key want to skip it because I'm just tired of hearing this same. Girl, is that all we're listening to for this whole 45 minutes? And I know, like, thank God it's not a long time, but still. Yeah, maybe I might not be an FKA Twigs fan. like this song is giving K-pop tease or J-pop, maybe, since it's like Japanese that they're also saying. Let the record show, I am not that much of a fan of K-pop, J-pop, or any of the other Asian pops. The closest you got to me is anime intros and outros. Like, I f with them pretty heavy, but I ain't really listening to the artists nor their albums. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. Shout out to y'all that love it though. As I said before, I'm listening to the album on YouTube. So this is Striptease, which she recently released the music video for. I want to watch the video, but I also want to give this video my attention. So, well, but let's get into the song. We'll get into the song as it goes. Now with the song named Striptease, I really hope I like it. I'm not a fan of how she's singing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of how she's singing. So Striptease, what I'm getting from it right now is it's made me think about something that is actually very important as it relates to FKA Twigs, this album. She's a strong visual person, and I have understood her to be a solid performer as well, like live. And so I can imagine that music that is so dynamic and cinematic like this album has been, is probably going to be very interesting to listen to. I mean, not just listen to, but to experience live. And Striptease especially is one of those things that makes me think, ooh, even though this song is not like doing much for me as a song, I'm interested to see what she gives as a live performer. And that's a beautiful thing to have as an artist, to be somebody where you have such a great skill as a performer that your music automatically has an added quality when people can imagine what you're going to do on stage or imagine what you're going to do with it live. I think, you know, you get an extra for that. Yeah, this style of singing is just not my fave. It does remind me of kind of like the K-pop, J-pop stuff. The aspects of it that I, really can't get into. Not trying to yuck y'all yum, but yeah. So we're on the last two songs. This one is called 24-Hour Dog. Second to last song. Penultimate song for you vocabulary nerds. I'm not gonna lie. I would have rather her not sing. It just kept the beat going. But it's okay. It's not okay. My hope is that this song does not, like, turn up. Like, she's done that. So my hope is that this song, 24-Hour Dog, so far has been real chill. I hope she don't turn up on the song. Like, please. You've turned up on all the songs beforehand, and we are almost done with this album. Can I just, like, come down from this high?
It's true, I'm just this way for you. I beg more than what I thought was possible.
She's gonna turn up. I know she's gonna turn up on this song. I feel it in my bones. I'm a dog for you. Woof, woof, bitch. Like, this is as much as it's gonna turn up for me. Because if we go to this boom, 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 bap, bap, I'm gonna be over it. I'm gonna wanna skip this shit. And I promise you, I probably will. If we stay here, I'm cool. This is a vibe. It sounds like it's gonna turn up. Okay. See, yeah, I'm so glad that she did not turn up. Like, this is the right amount of turn up. Something to vibe to. Cause we've been coked out all day. Or all album. Let's chill. Let's calm back down. Cause I need to go back to my normal life. I'm not pushing play after this. All right, 24-hour dog. You didn't turn up on me. Thank you. Okay, so we're now at the last song, Wanderlust.
I hate the cost, the aesthetic's crazy. Album's way too long though. I'll make it just the same, but with all the lyrics gone. I get violent and rage when I'm sad alone. I can criticize the walls when I'm sad at home.
Okay, just trying to spit.
In bed, no makeup on my face, filter covered up my lows. If I don't wake up Monday morning, give me pure Wanderlust.
Come on, you better give your little technique.
I see my life in motion, music's in motion. I get violent and rage when I'm sad alone. I can criticize the world when I'm sad at home.
On a sequencing note, I would have wanted a song like this earlier in the album, just to cleanse the palette of what all of the sonics have been. It's such a wild ride, and I understand the choice to put this song at the end, especially lyrically, but sonically as well. Like, it is like a good, good night. But like, when you have such a smorgasbord of sounds, having a song that can just be more just kind of like relaxed in the middle of everything can really cleanse the palette in a much needed way. Okay, so final thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do I rate the album? Sorry, babes, I'ma have to give it a 7 out of 10. And it's not because I think it is a bad album whatsoever. Like I said, I have my criteria. But the sequencing, that's probably where it lost me. I can't speak to what it represents for the artist because, as I've said in the video earlier, I don't really listen to FKA Twigs. And what I know of her, I feel like is, not to say a stereotype, but I feel like a caricature of what I imagine her music more or less would sound like. Now with this album, to beef it up and give me a deeper understanding, it is more of what I thought it would be. And I am just more or less realizing with a full listen that this is not the type of music that I would want to just sit down and listen to as an album, personally. And that takes it to number 3 of like, do I like the songs? Like, out of all of the songs on the 11-track album, there's probably only about 4 of them that I would personally like add to put into a rotation and like listen to regularly. Because when I do like a song and I do listen to it, I will listen to it regularly. So it's very common for me to, when I after I've listened to an album and I don't like all of the album, I'll have my condensed version of it that I will with. So let's look at those songs. My track listing that I like from the album. So I like Eusexua, Perfect Strangers, as y'all clearly heard, Stan. I like Drums of Death enough to add it, even though I probably would skip it quite a few times. Childlike Things, Striptease, and 24-Hour Dog. I would want to play around with what that would sound like as a little FKA Twigs EP for me personally. And then typically what does end up happening, and this is how I end up becoming more of a fan of a person, is that through listening to the bits of the album that I really enjoy, I eventually might circle back to like fill in the blanks of, okay, what was the thing that was between these songs again? And kind of just see, 6 months later, after I now love these songs, do the other ones that are around it and that were made with it, do they have a better appeal to me? I don't know. But yeah, FKA Twigs, I love you, girl. I will definitely always shout to the rooftops about your creativity, your artistry, and just like, I respect what you do deeply. Will that mean I push play? Not necessarily. But that's been my review, guys. I am Bohemian. Let me know what you think about the album, what you think about my takes. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you like, what the fuck are you on? Like, let's have a discussion. Let's have a dialogue. I do plan to do another album coming up soon. It'll be a surprise, but it will actually be, I'm excited because it's going to be completely different realm of FKA Twigs. So I am looking forward to being able to put my take on something that's completely different. All right, until next time, see ya.